what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. Today we're going to talk about the future of Raid with my man Skratch, AK-47. Skratch, how you doing, bro?
Yo, what's up, Ash? Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Glad to see that things are kind of getting moved in the right direction a bit slowly. So yeah, excited,
man.
You know, just generally trying to live life, man.
Yeah,
what
dude,
about you?
Well, I had Johanna, aka Cyrilla, on the channel yesterday talking about the real life situation, obviously, in Ukraine. Today, we're not going to be heavy on, you know, I don't know, the political or the geopolitical, you know, situation that we find ourselves in. If you guys want to hear plenty of thoughts on that, go ahead and check out yesterday's video here, or check out my new channel, Chat with Ash. Little plug there. I have a long format kind of interview channel just launched, Skratch.
Oh, nice.
So at the time of this recording, it hasn't launched, but it will by the time this goes live. So pretty, you know, fun stuff there. Not just obviously talking about war, but talking about everything that kind of interests me with people that I think are super interesting. So speaking of interesting people, I want to start here, Skratch, is today, you kind of alluded to it. We got really good news. We heard from Banana Jam for the first time in a long time. The community manager for Plarium. She's back working. I don't know where she is, but she's hopefully, I'm assuming, in safety. And she's coming at us with, you know, with news. They have a new big kind of event going on next week where we have a guaranteed chance at...
Oh, I'm a man of my word.
Or not a guaranteed. That's a really bad way to put it, right? We have a chance at landing Krisk or Royal Guard or a few other champions. However, it's kind of like going to be a Whale Wars, so can't get too excited about that, at least me personally, but it's kind of interesting to see. I want to ask you, because here's the thing, right? We talked about real world situations yesterday. Today, I want to talk about the future of Raid, and I want to start with a really basic question to you. Is given everything going on in the world right now, given that 700 plus Plarium employees have had to either relocate or fight for their lives in their basements or subways or whatever, obviously, and everybody watching this video, everybody talking right now, me and you, understand that this is not the priority, you know, a video game. However, with that said, how long are you going to play Raid, do you think? What is your, you know, personal, like on your account and stuff like that, taking creator aside, what is your own, you know, temperament when it comes to how long can this game last without an update?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's going to be pretty hard for them to relocate and stuff, but
yeah,
it is going to take a bit of a pause, the game itself. I feel like with the updates and this, it's going to be extremely hard for them to bring everything up. Hopefully, it's not going to be for too long and the whole situation is going to come to an end. But as a normal player, let's just say not a content creator, probably you can go 1 to 2 months, depending on when you started the game as well. You know, I feel like if you're more of a newish player, you still have a lot of you still have a lot of challenges. Then you can.
Will you just let me finish a thought, for God's sake?
Go for quite a while. But if you're just end game and you don't really have any sort of passions in, like for me, I like arena. You know, I like arena. I like doing other stuff, just farming, just to upgrade my things, even though it's not necessarily the main goal of the game. You know, and
sure.
Please. Let me finish for the sake of all of us.
We don't have a fusion this month. They actually confirmed in the interview that has been cancelled. But I think I can go a few months, honestly. Just like grinding arena and this. But after that, I feel like it's gonna be a massive pause for me. And probably I would drop the game if I wouldn't be a content creator in that kind of like period of time, you know. And I feel like most of the people are in that situation, you know, uncertain of what's happening.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to say, but you know, YouTube video views are a really bad metric, you know, like I know nobody really cares about that other than us, but it does show a pretty sharp decline the last maybe week, 2, 3 weeks as well. And you also see just the numbers, you know, they're down in marketing dollars. I haven't seen any Raid Shadow Legends advertisements. Obviously that could change any day. By the time this video goes live, it could change, but I haven't seen any ads run at all the last, you know, month or two, which brings in millions of new players, which is really the lifeblood of Raid Shadow Legends, because the average player lifespan isn't super long, you know, necessarily compared to other games. They also went out, and again, we're not here to make any commentary about this. Really, I want to try to keep politics a little bit out of this one since we went so heavy on it yesterday, but they, you know, banned all Russian and Belarusian players, and Raid Shadow Legends had a massive Russian especially player base. So do you think like this, do you think the Russians being banned from the game, again, geopolitics aside, do you think that will have any actual impact on the game for the rest of us at all?
I don't think so, honestly. So from what I understood it, Aristocrat or Plarium had
Yeah.
kind of like 3% of their whole investment game part was the Russian community, But that's, I guess, from all the games, not just Raid. Now, if you're
Okay.
gonna ask me only for Raid, I feel like it's bigger than that. Probably it's gonna be a 10 to 20% of the player base were.
It feels like it's the second biggest, like demographic, yeah.
Yeah, I just see it from content creators, Russian content creators. They get pretty much the same amount of views like us,
Yeah.
Even more. Like a lot of them, they get
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
near
Yeah.
hell Hades, So seeing that means that is a massive player base behind it. But the thing is, they're not only Russians or from Belarus, for example. I feel like Ukrainians, they're kind of watching the same thing because it's easier for them to understand it since they're more used with the languages. That might be another thing. And there's so many other countries in the Eastern Europe as well, So that's kind of like the thing that makes it a bit hard to understand it, how big of an impact is actually gonna have for the game. Because if they're cutting a lot of their income in a way or another, that might affect the main company. And they're like, well, my budget for advertising is a bit lower now. Or maybe my budget for updates is a bit lower now because I cut down some of the income. But knowing how successful the game was and how much money they're actually cashing in, I feel like if they're willing to increase a bit their budget and kind of like don't take everything in the pocket, they're still gonna be just fine in order to do their advertising and do their updates, pay the staff and all this,
Yeah, I think so too. And I remain optimistic about the game overall, Skratch. Just to answer my own question to you in the beginning, maybe I'm super foolish here, but like I'm taking off my content creator hat as well. And I think as a player, I think I'm more inclined to stick with the game now just because of everything going on, as like a sign of solidarity.
Absolutely,
and I hear where you're coming from. Like, listen, after a certain amount of time, I'm going to be like, okay, well, I'll probably, but it's also comes down to, sure, Raid has its issues that we spoke about a lot before this, what's going on right now, but it's still by far the best game out there to me, and granted, I'm biased, I have this YouTube channel and whatnot, but it's still by far the best kind of champion collector game out there, not just graphics, but all the features they've added over the last couple of years. It's really insane. For me, I might get sick after a month or two, to your point. I actually agree with you. I might get sick of my account. But I think I just might start like another free-to-play account or something like that, or maybe even another account, because there's so much to enjoy in this game that I think that I'm sticking with the game is what I'm trying to say. Like, no matter what, even if a really hot new champion collector comes out in the next couple of months, I'm going to stick with Raid personally. That's my own decision. And if everybody's different. People in my comments, you guys can let me know how you feel about everything or how your clans are. How's your clan, Skratch? You're one of the most competitive clans out there in the game. Are you noticing a wane in interest? After this, we're going to talk about what we want to see in the next year as well. But
honestly, not at the moment. Definitely
good.
not related to what's happening in the world right now. The thing is, with the game, a lot of endgame players usually quit, man. So I've seen more people quitting this game than probably every single other game I played in my entire lifetime added together. That's how many people quitted this game from the end game, because
why?
They get frustrated, a lot of them, with the drop rates and stuff like this. And mainly, honestly, I'm gonna say it now, it might be a bit off topic going from the video, but the saddest time in Raid Shadow Legends is the 2x void. That's when everybody gets depressed and quit. They are quitting the game, because they're spending a lot of money, they're not getting nothing, frustrated, and that's it. They quit. They're gone. That's how it is.
Okay, so the 2-time void events, I imagine the 10-time events too, when you pull a legendary and it's just some random dupe, not the one that you wanted. Obviously, when you pull a legendary and it's just some random dupe, not the one that you wanted. That's interesting feedback there, because we're in a top 200 clan. But we're not as competitive. You're in a top 3 clan or whatever, top 5. So there's a huge dynamic kind of difference. We're a hardcore clan, but we're also more casual. Like, we don't even try necessarily in all the clan versus clans. But with all that said, I'm very interested always in how like the upper echelon top players, because that sometimes trickle downs a little bit throughout the rest of the community. I wanted to ask you, and I'm the same thing here, by the way. My clan's still going strong. We're still feeling good, And yeah, so, you know, fingers crossed that will last. Fingers crossed, obviously, everybody can be safe and find a new place to work, you know. I wanted to ask you about the roadmap for this year. Obviously, everything's been, you know, somewhat derailed here.
Do they have more points? Yes. Do they have more skill? Yeah. But do they have more heart? Yes. And that is why we're going to leave right now.
I'm going to lose this secret room too, man. I guess I should have auto A1. Everything is obviously different or put on hold, right? What are you hoping for this year? Or maybe let me ask you this way. What were you hoping for before this all happened, you know? Before the war? What were you most excited about? What do you think endgame players were most excited about?
I feel like the way they release Hydra is a bit... They haven't really hit it with it, you know? A lot of people are not intrigued by it.
People hate Hydra, man.
They do. So I feel like I would like to see... I don't mind manualing 1 hour a week, you know? I can dedicate that time, cut something else out of my free time, you know, like another hobby, for example, another game that I would be playing, and do my Hydra as an idea. But what I hate about it is the RNG, you know? It shouldn't have RNG, like, always to have issues. Like, I know I can do this, but then so many elements come in play, and they all start with one single head of mischief, you know? So if they would fix that head, Hydra is going to be a different story. I know it's hard, it's challenging, it's meant to be endgame content, and a lot of newish people, they hate it because it's so hard, but that's kind of like normal in every game. Something is very hard for newer players, mid-game players, even people that are moving towards the end game, that they don't have very developed accounts. And yeah, it is a bit of a
it's
content.
way too hard. Agree with you there.
Yeah,
it's way too hard. And I'm not saying that I love hard stuff as you do, right? But they can make it scale a little bit better, right, Skratch? Like, to your point, they can tune down Head of Mischief. That's a good start. I agree with you. But also, like, why does easy and normal have to be this difficult? Why not make it that Nightmare is incredibly challenging, that even your clan, even the best players in the world can't beat it, you know? That's cool because it gives you room to grow. But, man, for what type of damage are your best players doing on the highest difficulty? Are you all the way to Nightmare or no? Ultra Nightmare? Or no?
Yeah, we were actually the first clan in the entire game that cleaned everything in the very first week when it got released, so we killed
well, damn, son.
One of them.
I guess so then. What are your highest damage totals on your average Ultra Nightmare?
So we are constantly killing Nightmare, Brutal, and Hard in my clan, and probably the highest damage I've seen on Nightmare was around 60+ million.
What?
Which, yeah, was pretty crazy actually. I was like, wow, this is some insane damage. The highest I've done was like 54 or 55, and that took me all the way up to like turn 160 or something like that, you know. And when I've seen that 60+, I was like, wow, that's very impressive actually, you know.
Okay, I have to ask a bonus random question that has nothing to do with this video, but like, in your eyes, what are the key elements to an amazing Hydra team? Give me a couple roles. I know it changes depending on, you know, what you're going against, but give me a couple slots on your team that you're always trying to include.
Reviver. So I feel like Duchess is always part of my teams, most of it, for the high difficulties, you know. So it's very specific to key champions. That's kind of like another main issue with the content, you know.
Yeah, I would say Reviver. Like, for me, I always go with Reviver, and I've gotten high damage totals, but not on that Nightmare difficulty. So I love Revivers, and I love a block buffs, you know, champion on my team. So like an Ugo or an Umbral, or even I've been using Gerbtuk Mossbeard now, and he's actually really, really solid too. But anyway, of course, it does depend on where you're going against. So you want to see them fix Hydra. That's
Hydra
first and foremost.
That's one thing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to PvP. Like, that's the one thing that I hope, you know, and again, I hope I've given enough disclaimers here, but I'll say it one last time. This sounds so stupid to be talking about a video game, but yet this is what we do here every day anyway, so it's what we're thinking. We're just going to say it here. And obviously the safety in real life comes way beyond this. Okay. But I really hope they're able to, if they are able to focus on something, if they're able to deliver on that PvP real time, because I think that would take the game to really like next level and keep players engaged longer, which, to, you know, your point earlier, that's the biggest thing for me is players, the lifespan is a little bit short in this game, to say the least, especially in the end game. So real-time PvP to me would bring a lot of players back and keep players engaged. What about you?
Yeah, I definitely feel like the PvP, I feel like the main thing for them to start with will be to fix the lower tiers of Arena. So many people are stuck there, and I see comments every day and people asking for help, and I feel so helpless that I'm not able to give them the right guides for them to progress from the very low tiers of Arena, because they're fighting such crazy enemies, you know, basically opponents. They're way over their level. They shouldn't be encountering those enemies, and they can't progress in Arena. So I feel really helpless that I cannot do anything to help the people with it. But
well, yeah, I get the same comments, by the way, and it's just, you almost ask yourself when you see those comments, I'm sure you're the same way by your answer there, is it like, what do I say? You know, get better champions, get better gear. Those aren't options.
Give us money.
Part of your overall point is fix Arena and then make a more compelling PvP, it sounds like?
yeah, so basically, in order to keep the people engaged for a long time, in my opinion, will be to have them stay engaged from the very beginning. Don't get kind of like distracted and be like, that's it, I'm gonna quit because of Arena. And if they're enjoying Arena from early on, they'll get to love Arena later on towards the end game. Once you reach the end game, guys, is nothing else to do in this game but Arena. I'm doing Hydra because of Arena. I'm doing Faction Wars because of Arena. I'm farming dungeons because of Arena. That's it. That's everything that's left for me in this game for the last 1 year and something, you know? It's kind of the same situation for every single endgame player. Some of them, on a smaller scale, they like to do the Doom Tower. They like to be on the leaderboard all the time, and every week or every month or however it goes, they're gonna try to put their name on the leaderboard and just farm the same level over and over to get a better time, better turn. So that's one hobby for some of the people, and that's why they're playing the game. They're focused on the PvE. But I feel like that's a smaller part. The majority of the very end game players are kind of like stuck with Arena, and at the moment Arena is just bad. The reset time is bad. Not a lot of people they get to participate because it's like 8 a.m. my time. It's like midnight for you guys, like
Yeah, for
3,
me, it's
4
3
a.m.
a.m. Yeah.
Like, would you wake up for it? Hell no.
Hell no.
So you,
no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it only lasts for like 15 to 20 minutes. I kind of talked about it as well in a video where we talked about the Arena. They really need to change this. Like, if I'm hiding everything that I have the best the entire week just to put it out for 15 minutes, that enjoyment just goes like this, man. Like, it's ending so quick. Like this, an Arena reset is like supersonic. Hit and run, and that's it. Wait 7 more days to do 15 minutes again. So
Yeah.
this I would like to see this changed, if of course everything will hopefully go back to a normality.
Now, I know a lot of the other content creators out there in the raid scene have a lot of experience with other Champion Collector games. You know, I've spoken to Darth before about I think it was Star Wars Galaxy or Star Wars something or other. That I'm such a noob when it comes to other hero collectors, but he was talking about like really compelling, interesting PvPs that they have that really do make the game incredibly enjoyable for the end game, for the mid game. We already talked about things that we want to see change for the early game: easier Hydra, better, you know, Arena, and obviously the time factor is always there, right? More super keys for more areas and stuff like that, or super raids. But have you seen? I don't know if you play other Champion Collectors, but have you seen something from another game that you think would fit really well into Raid? It can be PvP or it can be anything else. Is there something that you think that would just be a really good translation?
So I played quite a few of them. I tried quite a few of them. And honestly, I'm not saying it just because I'm doing content for Raid. Probably I'm doing content for Raid because any of the other games that I played, they don't match Raid, you know? So it is Awaken Chaos era that kind of came out more newish. I played that in the alpha, I played it in the beta, I played it once it got released. I'm not feeling it. It does look nice compared to other games out there, like, what was it, Epic 7, and we had Dragon Champions and
Dude,
all
everybody
these
everybody says that this is the raid killer, and then none of them are the raid killers, bro. I'm the same way. I've fallen for it a couple times. Other, you know, content creators or whatever would be like, this game's amazing, and I try it out, and then I lose interest in a week or less, you know? But
exactly.
Go on, sorry, yeah.
So I found that everywhere Arena is the same. Some of them have worse systems for Arena because you can literally, the reset is the last 1 to 2 minutes. You literally just snipe the first place in the last 1 to 2 minutes, and you're getting the first place globally, and that's even worse than what we have in Raid, you know? Most of them, they have the same system like here, where you're just fighting your 10 tokens daily. You can buy more tokens if you like, but again, it's not something that's gonna hold your defense during the entire week up there at the reset and stuff. And most of them, they don't give you that many rewards. Like Ace, from what I remember in Arena, I haven't seen them to give me like crazy rewards from it. Of course, I dropped my interest pretty quick with the game, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well,
Arena seems pretty similar. Nothing special from any other game that I played from all these that I tried, you know.
Have you tried do you know what I'm talking about in Star Wars Galaxy? It sounds like it's basically a map, right? And you go clan versus clan type thing. And
okay.
I'm probably butchering this, but it's something along the lines of each team can like strategically position their players, you know? So everybody, whether you're an end game monster of a player, it's going to be strategic as to where you position. You're matched with a clan with similar strength, and then it's almost like a map that you're trying to, fight for territory. It might not be the timeliest example, but you get what I'm saying in terms of like, to me, that sounds really fun, really cool, you know? Or a way to do, and this is another idea that's a big idea, but Plarium has shown the ability to execute on these big ideas. To me, a raid feature, right? So take away, I mean, this is called Raid Shadow Legends, right? So think of an MMO, think of like a World of Warcraft, where you're actually raiding as a clan, a big boss at the same time. Who knows if technically that's, possible with a mobile game, even though they have the desktop client as well. But that to me would be really cool. It's kind of like Clan a Boss, but adding more dynamics and going one step further, something that you can do, almost daily instead of weekly, So what do you think of those ideas?
Oh, I love it, man. Like I'm a hardcore Destiny 1 player, Destiny 2 as well. Like we used to destroy raids in Destiny 1, Like we even had one of the records for having the fastest kill on one of the Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah,
It's so amazing to play that. Like that's kind of like what I loved the most about games,
Yeah.
Farm loot and play with people, and you just gotta create everything so perfectly.
What about this,
like
Skratch? What about this? What about a dungeon? A dungeon that is I forgot what you call it. Like it's not an instance, right? So it stays there no matter what. Your whole clan gets one shot to go through it. There's mini bosses leading up into like this massive dragon or something, but it stays the same. So again, but it's very hard, right? So
yeah,
somebody might only kill one monster or one dude, but you have to work together, and then there's more challenging levels as you go.
You smell that? What is that?
What?
What's that smell?
The cologne?
No, honey.
Here comes the money.
To me, that really gets my juices flowing, if you can't tell, That sounds like really fun, and it would give that raid element to Raid Shadow Legends,
Absolutely. Like I always thought that at some point they will be bringing something like this,
Yeah.
Something where all the clan goes in, because I played quite a few different games. They weren't as similar as Raid, but kind of like all of them had a dungeon or a boss like this where you had to go in with the clan in a way or another to actually talk about it, not just do your team, do your damage, you build it and come back tomorrow, like actually strategize and be like, okay, this week we're gonna approach the boss in this way. You have to do this, you have to kill that one, you have to bring in this champion, this sort of stuff,
Exactly, because even a free-to-play player could still serve a purpose. You might be like, okay, your job is to kill this person. You have these 8 champions. We can use you here, here, and here, But you're right. And it might not be at first. It might be the third wave or something that you bring in that free-to-play player for that one specific role, which is important in the overall success of the clan. So I think it's really cool. It could be incredibly inclusive. And we'll see if there's something like that ever comes to the game. But the good news is again, and the reason I'm sticking with Raid no matter what here, is not just solidarity, but because they have to your point, you've mentioned it here, they have the best base, in terms of the foundation is all there, right? So just add compelling features, and I feel like you reignite the player base pretty easily in Raid, and that's the good news. So on that note, that's kind of all I have on the topic. We talked a lot about kind of the state right now and where things might go. Any final thoughts from you, Skratch? Always love talking Raid with you, man.
Man, honestly, that's kind of like my take on it as well. I would love to see something like that in the near future. In the next couple of years, near future, that's kind of like what it feels for me. But
right.
If they're gonna manage to, in a way or another, sort out and deliver for this year with PvP, even if it's towards the end of the year, will be amazing and definitely will make most of the people happy that are interested in PvP. I know the majority of people are saying PvP and spending doesn't go well together, but that's kind of like the only thing left for people playing the game in the end game, So that's why is needed to happen in a way or another at some point. You know?
I hear you on that, though. I hear the people who say that. I hear their point, but that's why we need those dungeon raids, man. But
exactly.
we'll see.
Yeah, we kind of need to find the right balance to satisfy
Exactly.
everyone. It's hard to satisfy everyone, but you always gotta try to maintain the balance. You know.
Totally agree, man. Well, hey, Skratch, thank you so much for coming on, man. Always appreciate talking raid to you and having you on the channel, man.
Yo, a pleasure.
All right, guys, check out Skratch AK-47's YouTube channel. Again, want to end this video kind of how we started it, just wishing, you know, obviously love, positivity, and safety, first and foremost, to the people of Plarium, the people of Ukraine in general. Leave your thoughts, guys, in the comments below. How do you feel about the state of the game? What is your clan like right now? What is the overall health of your clan, your account, and your interest in the game? What are you most looking forward to in the future out of all the stuff that we talked about? Or, hey, maybe you have an idea that we didn't talk about. Look forward to hearing from you guys. And as always, take care, guys.